Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village called Iregun, there lived a young boy named Tunde. He was just 10 years old, full of energy, and known for his bright smile. Tunde lived with his grandmother, Mama Sade, who was old but very strong. She loved her grandson dearly, because Tunde's parents had died when he was very young. Their small mud house stood near the village market, surrounded by banana trees and the smell of roasted corn from the roadside. Life was not easy, but Tunde never complained. He helped his grandmother in every way he could. Every morning before the sun came up, he would fetch water from the stream, sweep the compound, and follow Mama Sade to the market where she sold pepper, tomatoes, and onions. Tunde loved helping his grandmother count money and arrange her pepper neatly in small baskets. Sometimes people laughed at him, saying, "Look at Tunde, the pepper boy." But he didn't mind. He knew hard work was good, and he was proud to help his grandma. Whenever they sold well, Mama Sade would buy him puff puff and cold zobo from a woman in the market. Tunde would smile so wide that everyone around felt his joy. One night, after they returned home from the market, Tunde sat beside Mama Sade by the fire. He looked at her and said softly, "Grandma, one day I will sell pepper too, but not just in this village. I will go to the city, and people will know my name." Mama Sade looked at him and laughed gently. "Ah, my boy," she said, "the city is not as easy as you think. But if that is what you want, pray for wisdom and work hard. God will bless your hand." Those words stayed in Tunde's heart like a promise. Years passed, and Tunde grew stronger and smarter. He helped his grandma more than ever. He learned how to buy pepper from farmers cheaply and sell it with profit. He also learned how to save small money instead of spending everything. Whenever Mama Sade gave him money for snacks, he would buy only one and save the rest inside a small tin under his bed. Little by little, the money grew. One morning, a trader from the city came to the village to buy farm produce in bulk. His big truck was filled with yam, cassava, and pepper. Tunde watched him carefully as he negotiated prices and paid the villagers. He walked up to the man and greeted politely, "Good morning, sir." The man smiled and asked, "What's your name, young boy?" Tunde answered proudly, "My name is Tunde, and I help my grandmother sell pepper." The man laughed and said, "You are a smart one. Maybe one day you'll sell pepper to me in Lagos." Tunde's eyes lit up. That day, he promised himself he would find a way to Lagos and make something great out of his pepper trade. When Tunde turned 16, his grandmother's health began to fail. She was old and tired, and though she tried to hide it, Tunde noticed. One evening, she called him and said, "My son, I may not live long, but I am happy you have grown wise and hardworking. Remember what I always told you. Honesty and patience are the best seeds a man can plant." Tears rolled down Tunde's face as he held her hand. A few months later, Mama Sade passed away peacefully. Tunde was heartbroken, but he remembered her words. He buried her behind the house and promised to make her proud. After the burial, life in the village became lonely. Tunde decided it was time to go after his dream. He took the little money he had saved and walked to the motor park. He boarded a bus to Lagos, a place he had only heard about in stories. The journey was long and tiring. When he arrived, he was amazed. Tall buildings, loud horns, and busy streets everywhere. He felt small in the big city, but he also felt brave. Tunde stayed with a distant cousin in Mushin, who sold vegetables in the market. Every morning, he woke up early to help her arrange her goods. One day, he asked if he could start selling pepper on his own. She laughed and said, You are too small for this market, Wahala." But Tunde was determined. He used his little savings to buy one small basket of pepper and started selling at a corner of the market. At first, people ignored him. His voice was too small and his peppers looked ordinary. But Tunde remembered something his grandmother always said. If your product is good, your customers will return. So he kept his pepper fresh, always smiled, and treated everyone kindly. Soon, customers began to notice him. They liked his honesty because he never cheated in measurement or gave rotten pepper. They started calling him Tunde Pepper Boy. He saved every kobo he made, buying more baskets each week. Within a year, he was no longer just a small boy at the corner. He had a full table and 2 other young boys working with him. He began traveling to nearby farms outside Lagos to buy pepper in bulk. He would come back to the city and sell at higher prices. His business grew so fast that other traders started respecting him. He rented his own small shop, printed the name Tunde Fresh Farms, and began supplying to restaurants and hotels. He never forgot his grandmother's lessons. He remained humble, respectful, and prayerful. As time passed, Tunde became one of the biggest pepper suppliers in Lagos. He bought a small truck to transport his goods. His workers increased from 2 to 10. He even built a house in the same village where he grew up and renovated his grandmother's old hut into a beautiful bungalow. Whenever he visited, the villagers would say, "Look at Tunde, the boy who once sold pepper with his grandma, now a rich man." One day, as he stood by the roadside watching his trucks load pepper for delivery, he smiled to himself. He remembered his childhood, fetching water, sitting by the fire with Mama Sade, and dreaming of the city. His heart filled with gratitude. He whispered softly, "Grandma, I made it! Your pepper boy made it!" Tunde later opened a foundation to help young farmers in rural areas. He provided seeds, training, and tools to help them grow and sell their crops at fair prices. He believed no child should suffer just because they were born in the village. Whenever he met a struggling boy, he would tell them, "Never be ashamed of where you start. If you are honest, patient, and hardworking, you can turn a basket of pepper into a basket of gold." And that was how Tunde, the village boy who once helped his grandmother sell pepper, became a successful businessman. His story spread far and wide, inspiring many young people to believe in themselves. He proved that no dream is too small, and no beginning is too humble. Because when your heart is pure, and your hands are willing to work, even pepper can make you rich.